I have my dream job. But even dream jobs have not so dreamy parts. That's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what to do about your busy work, they actually do it. That way your team can focus on what matters. To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com. Hey everyone, welcome to Serve, brought to you by ServiceNow. Jon Wertheim in the studio at the home that I found on Airbnb.
Nice house.
How's it going?
Good. I like what you did with the place.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
I will say, Techie Sean and producer Mike are moonlighting as set designers.
I like
this week. So
it's going to come with buttons for your pants, but looks like you're taken care of.
I sometimes forget that anyone listens to this.
Yeah.
So walking through, it's like, oh, you got your buttons? I'm like, got a zipper. That was the deal of the day. But what's been going on the first couple of days?
Good first few days.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, I mean, the metabolism of these events, they slow down eventually. I mean, these first 2 days is just sheer chaos, right? And you're on a match, you're watching, and then I didn't even know they were playing. You can't be everywhere at once.
It is intense. Like you throw like a GOAT comeback and not knowing what goes on. And we'll touch, obviously, Serena's story of the day. Ben Shelton, maybe
1A.
Second story of the day. But there's some good stuff around the ground. So maybe I'll just kind of touch on it real quick. Iga Świątek wins against Taylor Townsend. I don't think that's like a big story on its own.
But
there was some emotion after this match. Iga broke down afterwards. Taylor walked off, and emotions were running high.
there was more emotion than there was when Iga played her last match here, which happened to be her title. There's a lot going on there. And I think some of it, she talked about it a bit, and she said, she got pushed to a third set, and she hasn't had a great record this year, and it all sort of came tumbling. I also thought, I don't know if you saw this, the club put her father and sister in the royal box. So
I think that was a lot to do with it.
I think there's a real sense of occasion, and you're coming out to defend your title, and it hasn't been a great year, and you win this 3-set match. There was a lot going on for, again, it seems like a pretty standard. Iga wins in round one over a player who competed gamely. Taylor Townsend, very fun to watch on grass in particular, but not a shocking result. But yeah, Iga's reaction afterwards was quite something.
You know what you'll never, ever, ever be able to say about Iga Świątek is that she doesn't care.
Good point.
Like she's. Have you ever watched her and been like, you can say she's
mailed it in again.
Like if anything, it's like she cares too much,
exactly.
right? You need to be able to like kind of level set every once in a while, but like it's a pretty great thing this far in where she cares that she won 6 Grand Slams. She won this last year going away. She won 0-0 in the final. And yet she gets through and it still kind of has that depth of emotion. It was shocking because she's accomplished so much. She's seen so much. We view it as like, oh, you got another win. She views it as kind of like the most important thing ever, almost every time she goes out on the court.
When you are that process oriented, when process breaks down, it really impacts you. But no, I don't. Should we? I'm still trying to sort through my thought. I mean, have you reached any great overarching conclusions about Serena today? Because I feel like you could argue this either way.
Yeah, I have a lot. Let me just run through. Raducanu wins in 3 over Bosson. Anisimova 3-2. Svitolina upset. That was big. I had her through to the semis, so
Svitolina. Oh, our brackets are just
another
toast.
Another one got Kostiuk rolls. Zverev through in 4. I thought he looked pretty good against blocks. I mean, you saw him hit the deck, and he said it. He's like, Zverev. Listen, think what you think. He tells the truth. And he's normally right these days, right? He's developed into somebody who's like, I don't move that well on grass.
Right.
I don't like the movement on grass. That's the thing that bothers me. And then you see him kind of hit the deck, and it's right. The serve plays anywhere. The backhand plays anywhere. The return position, he likes being back. He likes having time. The movement and the forehand get a little bit more exposed here. But are we ignoring him too much considering his pedigree?
Oh, you mean that he won the previous major? He's the second seed, and no,
he's not even getting a sniff at people saying he's going to make a final.
He has never been beyond round 4 here.
Yeah,
he's never beaten a seed here.
Never beaten a top 40 player, if I'm right here.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think at this we got a lot of data points here, but I thought he looked pretty good today. I think you're right. He knows what he is. He knows what he isn't. Yeah. And this could have been a lot trickier match. Blocks is good. And Zverev got, there were a couple double faults on a tiebreak that Zverev got to escape. That match, this is one of these matches that sort of fell through the cracks, right? The winner of the previous major just won a 4-setter. And
I'll give you kind of my experience at ESPN today. Zverev's playing, tight match, just won the last Grand Slam, center court Wimbledon. All of a sudden, I'm doing a segment. Obviously, we're pumping Serena because it's like Jordan wearing 45, right? Like it's that big of a deal. It's bigger than tennis even. And then I'm doing a segment with Malika Andrews, and I'm not clued in. And she goes, "We have breaking news. We have breaking news." I'm like, "Okay, did someone pull out?" Like, I was like, "Does Serena play?" Like, right. And she goes, "LeBron James leaving the Los Angeles Lakers," and I'm going,
"How about the draws here?"
We're not I was like instantly, I was like, "We're not talking about Zverev anymore." It turned into like Shams Charania coming in. I mean, it was just like it was a whole deal. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like. He might just fly under the radar here, but...
You're talking about Zverev and not LeBron now, right?
LeBron will not fly under the radar here. I don't know. I thought he looked good today. I thought it was a tough first-round draw. Who is very good on grass? And when he steps on a grass court, everything in his game becomes more effective. Taylor Fritz.
Yep.
Taylor Fritz, let's kind of rewind to 48 hours ago, right? You ready? I played Jack Draper first round.
Yep.
Staring down the barrel of Ben Shelton, who just beat me a couple of weeks ago. If I advance far enough in the draw, everything changes. Like I think I picked him to get to the final anyways. I think you might have, or did you pick Ben?
I think I may have Ben. I'll tell you a funny story. They
Here, hold on. We'll edit this and we'll edit your other. You picked Taylor, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. He's really good on grass. Everything he does, ball flight, attack. He can stay away from sideline to sideline defense. Serve gets a little bit better. He's in with a real shot on this bottom half, I think.
I talked to him today. He had a couple of funny stories. One of them is he said he wanted Draper. He loved that match. I'll get my teeth in the tournament. I'll get a real test. He goes out, practices with Ben Shelton, right? We have a lefty practice partner. And then all of a sudden he's like, maybe I ought to get a light hit in with a righty. And suddenly he's got a lucky loser, got through very handily. He also came out with that Hugo Boss.
He looked like Don Johnson.
He had a great line though. He said,
and if you're Googling that, you're under 40 years old.
Sean,
Mike's laughing. Sean is like, who's Don Johnson?
Crockett and Tubbs.
Yeah, Sean was like, that was my dad's accountant in Arizona.
He's thinking, Don Johnson, former North Carolina doubles player.
No, not that Don Johnson. I'm Miami Vice.
No, we're really getting. But back to Taylor Fritz. Yeah, no.
All the best jokes have to be explained.
Exactly. Taylor Fritz though is. He looked good today, straight shooter. You're right. His game really accelerates and accentuates on the surface. He also had a very funny line. He said, you cannot, he wasn't quite the Naomi Osaka full effect, but he had a little Hugo Boss thing going. Yeah. It was sort of like you say Don Johnson? It's like Don Draper too, but no, Don Johnson. That's a good one. But he said basically, you can't go out there for a fashion show and lose your first round match. So he put a little extra pressure on himself with the menswear and the man purse, but got through in straight sets.
Merce. These walk-on things.
What do you think?
I think they used to be like, Fed used to do it. Fed's a different deal. Naomi does it. If everyone does it, is it boorish? Or are you still into it?
Kind of into it. I mean, it's not my thing, but whatever. If that's you and it has a little flavor, I would just as soon go out there in cargo shorts and start playing tennis. But it's kind of added pressure, right? When Naomi Osaka walks out there like that, you don't want to get broken in the first. You sort of putting additional pressure on yourself.
Osaka's committed so hard that I don't think anyone even... She's done it so many times that I don't think we associate the outcome of a tennis match with what she does.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I think it's by design. Someone who's in this in that bottom half, Berrettini, knows how to play on this surface. Won Queens twice. Has finaled here. Was probably outside of the Avengers and the superheroes. Was probably the next favorite one of the years, and they had to pull out because of COVID after he had won Queens.
Right.
Yeah, he knows how to play on the surface. Roland Garros, getting a bunch of match time, winning a bunch of matches, I think did him a lot of favors for this tournament. I thought Wawrinka played well against him tonight. And I was touched. We went over it on ESPN. Stan has really shown a different side of himself this year in Australia. Going away, you can tell that he really appreciates the appreciation that he's getting, and it's well deserved. So much of the narrative, and I hear it as much as anyone, is you couldn't break through against the big three. Not a lot of people won a bunch of slams. That motherfucker won 3 slams, and he went right through the meat of it.
You know who he beat in the finals of those 3 majors?
Yes, I do. Nadal and Djokovic.
Yeah,
yes,
not bad.
I know exactly. So I'm happy he's getting his due. He's still playing well. This doesn't feel like a tragic retirement tour.
Right.
He can still win matches. 4 tough sets against Berrettini. He'll be missed. I think he's added a lot of value to the tour. I think he's one of the few who, on a given day, his upside was as good or better than the big three. Now, it wasn't the consistency of McMurray, but like the guy, I mean, he just could create shots, and the appreciation that kind of falls out of his face in the form of moisture when he's talking about how much he'll miss this game. And they said, you know, do you want to, he goes, I don't want to retire, but I know I have to. I appreciate how much gratitude he seems to have for his experience in this game.
I would. I also think, you know, and this will dovetail and segue into our next topic, I'm sure. But there's something to be said for longevity, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a 20 years. The guy,
41 years old.
41 years old, and he's playing, you know, 18, 16 tiebreakers against Berrettini and still playing at a competitive level. Remember, he didn't need a wild card at Roland Garros. His ranking is still sufficiently good north of age 40, and he's enjoying the appreciation. He's enjoying the competition. I mean, he's ducking down and playing lower level events.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no career major. That was thwarted tonight. This is the only. No, he wasn't going to win.
I think your point about this isn't someone who's just on a vanity tour. So he loses in the French Open. He goes and plays challengers, and for those who, you know, minor league events. So this is a 3-time major winner, first ballot Hall of Famer, has won 3 out of the 4 majors, and is going down and playing in Toulouse and, you know, a bunch of other places. He hasn't turned himself into a part-time tennis player for show.
Right.
I respect everything about the way he's gone about his process. I'm happy he's having these ovations. I'm happy that we're seeing this side of him. I'm happy that, you know, he was so stone-faced for a lot of years. I don't know that he gave you much on court or even in interviews afterwards. I love that he's kind of melting into this experience, and I think we're all better for it. Nothing but respect for Stan Wawrinka. Demon gets through. Foe and Big Foe and Kaboli suspended, both winning their matches. Menchik gets through 7-6 in the 5th against a British wild card. Someone who is playing right, so our studio at ESPN is right on court 18. Someone who's playing right behind us today, and I saw him at breakfast the other day randomly in Wimbledon Village, and he could not have been more courteous, nicer, hugged both of our kids. Like, Grigor Dimitrov is a gem. After what happened last year to him with Sinner, getting up and then having that injury, roll today. I mean, have you spent much time with him? He just comes off as such a generous, nice, decent person.
I saw him about a month ago in my neighborhood in Paris. Just randomly walked into him on the street. We had a very nice conversation. He was going to meet his parents. I didn't realize that he had tried to qualify that day, lost 7-6 in the 3rd in qualifying. You know, this is a major semifinalist, this top flight player. He had to qualify. He lost 7-6 in the 3rd. That's the kind of loss that sends you to like the bottom of a bottle of Maker's Mark. And he's smiling on the streets of Paris, having chit chat with me, not even mentioning the match result. I didn't realize it till I got back. I'm so happy he got the wild card. You talked about Iga having this reaction when she won her match today, different set of circumstances, but when Grigor won today, I don't know if you caught that, he, you know, it was a year ago, he had a 2-0 lead over the guy who ended up winning the tournament. Yep. Barely has played and barely has won since. To come here, get a wild card, win that first match, the emotions came out. This is a great tennis citizen, and I don't know how you can't be happy seeing him win.
Let's also give props to Wimbledon for decision making, because wild cards are normally, they're either a home tournament entitlement for the country it's played in, past number ones, past Grand Slam champions. Grigor's had an amazing career, but he's none of those things. So a very rational, smart respectable decision by Wimbledon, I think, to give him the wild card, considering what happened to him last year very famously against Sinner.
Totally. Dan Evans might like a word with you. Wait, quick word about wild cards. I think he's a wild card. Arthur Ferry was a wild card.
Yeah.
This was my favorite moment of the day. Did you catch this?
No, tell me.
He's playing Damir Zhumer, who is complaining persistently about this, that, and the other. And what does our friend Arthur Ferry do? He goes to the changeover and puts in earplugs to drown out his opponent. Have you ever seen that? It's a great move, right? Who carries that in their bag? For all the things you put in your racket bag, I'm not sure earplugs would ever make my list.
Does he always have them? Or
that's what I'm wondering.
Was it specifically for this match?
It was absolutely brilliant. He did win the match, by the way.
That's actually really funny.
That's a baller move.
All right, so how much of the Ben Shelton match did you catch today?
Bits and pieces, but I caught the fifth set. Entire fifth set. That was an interesting match.
Ben, I love Ben. I love Brian. I when I watch him, I feel like sometimes like the play is scripted before the point starts, right? There's a flow. Like this guy's forehand cross was great today. He was sticking back in, but it felt like there was the same patterns and the disruption was very forced, right? It wasn't as if we're shifting patterns. It was shifting. I'm going to serve and volley here. I'm going to come in all of a sudden. He hit a million drop shots that didn't work today. And I was like, at some point there has to be an awareness to like, we have to put that away. Like we have to take things that aren't working and make adjustments, not full out changes. And I know that's a nuanced thing with Ben. Wins a title coming in. This is going to be a loss that I think stings for a long time. Like if you're going to be that guy who's top 3, top 4 in the world, I don't know that this is a result that you can have. And I don't think I'm saying anything controversial by this. No. I'm sure Ben would tell you the same thing.
He did, in fact, say this is probably the worst defeat I've ever had.
I think that's true.
Let's acknowledge Otto Vurtinen, the Finnish qualifier, fantastic. Is the player we're talking about.
And I do it before we get to your take on Ben. I'm glad you brought him up because Vurtinen played a great match, level-headed. And I want to explain, when we say qualifier, people kind of are flippant about qualifiers. This guy played a week of tennis just to have the opportunity to get a credential to walk on the grounds and then to play a match and then to beat Ben Shelton and then to probably he won a challenger like in the last month, probably won $10,000. Yeah. I mean, a multiple of 15. I mean, it's absurd what this means to play a week of tennis, to get the opportunity and then deliver against Ben Shelton.
There was, I think it was 8-all in the breaker. Crazy, but there's a super tiebreak, matches on the line, crazy point, and Vurtinen guesses right and sort of swats at a ball. I don't know if did you catch this point? Missed it by a foot, maybe a clean look, which gives Ben Shelton suddenly match point. So you played for 4 hours, you're at the super tiebreak, and you say I missed the ball by a foot, and now my opponents have got match point. And what does this guy do? He goes back up to the line, holds twice, and ends up closing out this match, biggest win of his career. I thought some of the Ben decision-making, sort of when to pull the trigger and when to hold back, was a little perplexing. Remember, he lost at Roland Garros to Rafael Collignon.
After Sinner went out, the draw opened up there too.
Gaping draw, and he lost to a Belgian ranked in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And then comes back at the very next major after, as you say, after winning a grass tournament in between.
Beating Taylor Fritz.
Beating Taylor Fritz and then going out. This one stings. And I don't, you hate to sort of jump to conclusions and everything needs retooling and everything needs reassessment, but it's been a disappointing year we've talked about this. He's won 3 titles, but in between have come a lot of mystifying losses. And this one will sting. Yeah.
If I had one thing, it's like, pattern recognition, not just how you want to enforce yourself on someone, right? Because he's really good at that. Pattern recognition. What patterns am I playing into that aren't working, most of the time? How do I adjust those patterns? What chip do I hit? Not just line all the time, but what one do I hit cross? Can I hit a short chip instead of a drop shot? All of these little things and recognizing tendencies and patterns, is something that I can see as a point of improvement, where all of a sudden he starts rolling and winning that match in 4 sets instead of losing in 5 sets. The good news is I think there's I think there's a lot of room for movement, to be a better volume returner, when to pull the trigger, when not to. The guy's seeded 4. And there's still a lot of upside.
Say, that's a good way to look at it.
If I'm in that corner, I'm going, listen, I know this hurts. There's so much we can work on. There's so much improvement to be made. And you're one of the top 5 players on earth. Right. So if we're going to spin that positively, I think that's how I'd go about it. But there has to be no doubt that this is just devastating. And hopefully it doesn't have a hangover, but I don't see how it doesn't. Even if you have a great summer, the last 2 slams have been rough. Right. I always say I think expectation is the hardest thing in sports. I think we expect a lot of Ben now because of what he's shown us. So this is definitely going to be something to work through. We'll get to Serena, but I'm going to service now stat of the day before we get to Serena is,
what do you got?
Is the number 7. It's the number of Grand Slams that Serena Williams won before Maya Joint was born.
That's a McEnroe. That's a McEnroe career.
John McEnroe won 7 Grand Slams, so it's a full McEnroe before Maya Joint was born. Give me your take on Serena before I give you mine.
I feel like for all the questions, I'm not sure we got. I think you could spin this either way. I kept writing in my notes respectable. It wasn't dazzling. It was not. No one got mistaken that this was Serena Williams at the peak of her powers, and yet she was better than she was 4 years ago. It's so impressive that she's still serving in the 120s, and there were some very nice constructed points here and there. Part of you says you lost to Maya Joint in 3 sets. Kids got to see you play. It was a great effort. It was inspiring. You're 44 years old. Congratulations. I think you could also say you came in here with 0 match play and you went 3 sets with a full-time player half your age. It's not crazy to think you can build on that. I'm not sure. I feel like you could spin this either way. And it wasn't embarrassing. It was a thoroughly enjoyable match. I thought she was better than she was 4 years ago when she lost to Harmony Tan. It had some echoes of when she was trying to win that 24th major. And it just kind of, the consistency was what went. And sometimes you said, that's awesome. She's serving an ace up the tee at 122 miles an hour. And then the next point, she would look a step slow and the ball would hit the bottom of the net. It was kind of unsatisfying in the sense that if we all wanted the triumphant return and we all start talking about, could she possibly do it? We didn't get that. We also didn't get the, oh my God, this is embarrassing, avert your eyes. It was kind of in this liminal, I don't know. What do you talk enough? What do you think?
You know what I kept thinking? I kept thinking how fucking stupid I would look if I hadn't played in 4 years and tried to go out on center court at Wimbledon my first match.
And play a 20-year-old.
A moron. I would look like an idiot. Right. So let's level set because we're like any analysis of Serena is against her own shadow, right? All that I'm hearing, it was not her plan to play singles here. I thought it could have been. Well, from what I'm hearing from Wozniacki, texting last week, what do you think? Like, I don't know that this was dialed for. I don't know that she was sure 2 weeks ago. Here's what I think. I think we'll see her again on a singles court for sure. I think Serena leaving this match is going. I almost won a match, and there's a lot I can improve on.
Exactly.
I think at the 2-hour mark, I think her legs gave out. I think the serve started missing by 5 feet. You can't create the spin mechanism to bring it down. But there were flashes. There were flashes. Instead of 3 points in a row, it was 2 points in a row, and then an air. Credit to Maya Joint. I thought she played really well considering the circumstance and considering someone carrying a massive losing streak at tour level into the event. I thought she did well. If I know Serena at all, she's pissed and she's going, I think I can still beat these people. I think we'll see her at the U.S. Open in singles.
You think we'll see her before then?
What a luxury it would be to play matches before a Grand Slam.
I was going to say, like, God forbid she'd play some matches. Again, it's very easy to spin this as, you know what, I was right in there.
She was.
She won that second set. I think she finished with 7 aces. She's playing a player half her age. And it's very easy to spin this as, you know what? We get a little more fit. We work on a few things. We get some more match play in there. And yeah, go to New York. The crowd will be even louder.
I'm just telling you, New York, in that exact same situation, would have been falling apart.
This was weirdly subdued.
Falling apart.
It almost was though there was sort of this guilt of, boy, there's this nice Australian and I don't want to insult her. It was, given the circumstances, you thought the roof was going to go off the place. It wasn't that way inside center. I don't know if did you watch Inside Center Court?
I left the studio in 2
mean,
days.
it was, when Serena won the second set, the fans got into it. This was not this was not Beatlemania. This was not, it was almost as though, I'm going to politely applaud the 7-time champion, but I don't want to insult the opponent. It was sort of, I thought, oddly subdued given the circumstances. But no, Serena didn't do press. Read into that what you will. I think she's pissed. And I think she said, you know what? Like, I was right in that match.
I kind of love that she cares enough to be salty about press. I kind of love that. I got to be honest.
Don't you? At age 44? Even, I don't know, we're all sort of looking for these Zapruder clues.
Just blame it on prize money boycott. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was then rescinded. But no, I got the feeling, just sort of body language wise, this wasn't like, oh my God, happy to be here. So happy my daughters could see me.
She can't help herself, dude.
Retirement.
That's not the way her mind works. She can't help herself.
So you think I tend to agree with you. I don't think this was a one-off.
No, I don't think so. I think all of the things that you mentioned with it has been a softer side of Serena, at least the front-facing part of it this week in interviews and everything else. And, there was, forever and a day, you ask her what she's doing. She's like, I'm here to win. I don't think she went that far this week. And you could see that like gear kind of wanting to turn a little bit. And we have to remember, we tried to pin her on, are you retiring? She's like, I'm evolving. The door was never fully closed, right?
You never use the word,
No, evolve.
Evolve, yeah.
So I think she's going to evolve off of this result. I can't think she feels worse about her game and herself and her ability to compete after this match than before it.
No, I think, look, this had a huge range of outcome, right? I think this kind of ended up where it probably should have, right? I mean, it wouldn't have been let's be honest. It wouldn't have been a great look. Even the great Serena Williams, if at age 44 with no match play, she came and she would have won 6-2, 6-2 in 58 minutes and then moved on to the second round.
For who?
She got pushed around.
For the rest of Earth?
The rest of Earth looks great.
I agree with that.
She showed flashes, as you say. No other player at that age was going to put on a show like this. She also, I think we need to make a fair point of this. This wasn't a whimsical decision. This was methodical. We've talked about this. This was methodical. She's practiced on different surfaces with different practice partners. I think she handled this really professionally, and there's still work to be done, but it's very easy to see her say, you know what? I was right in there with a 20-year-old who was in the top 30 not that long ago.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't win tonight, but I'm not done.
I think this will burn her in a way that's good for the rest of us as fans.
Don't you wish I were wired like that.
Same. Anyways, while I go cry myself to sleep that I'm not. Thanks for watching Served, brought to you by ServiceNow. JW, the good news is that your home is not far from our home that
we're neighbors.
I found on Airbnb. So true story, we were on the Serve text chain. It's like, oh, where are you staying? And you type in the address. I'm like, oh, our fences connect.
See?
Good fortune. Thanks for coming over. Producer Mike, Techie Sean, you guys all good?
Great.
You guys still living that village life?
Townies.
Would you call yourself village people? Anyways, thanks for watching Served. We'll see you tomorrow.
I have my dream job, but even dream jobs have not so dreamy parts. That's where ServiceNow's AI specialists come in. They don't just tell you what to do about your busy work, they actually do it. That way your team can focus on what matters. To learn how to put AI to work for people, visit ServiceNow.com.